Salmon farming is extremely destructive right across the board. First of all, you're concentrating all of these exotic fish that don't belong in those areas. The Atlantic salmon is the one that you put on the salmon farms. This is a predator from the Atlantic putting into Pacific ecosystems or places in Australia or Chile or whatever. It doesn't belong there. If you or I were to take a piranha from Brazil or from the Amazon and put it in a lake anywhere where we live, that would be illegal. You know, you're transporting an exotic species into some place it doesn't belong. And so what's happened now with, for instance, British Columbia, Western Canada, we bring in the Atlantic salmon, and now they're spreading diseases, zoonotic transmission of diseases into indigenous salmon populations. It's also spreading salmon lice because they accumulate around the salmon farms, and then they attach onto the fingerlings of the wild salmon as they come down the streams, and they kill them. And then they're also there to combat salmon lice. They're using molluscides. They actually put the fish, dip them into molluscide sort of chemicals to kill off the molluscides. That gets into the ecosystem and kills the natural mollusks in that area. And you know, even when you raise a farm-raised salmon, the color of the flesh of the is a dirty white. Nobody's going to buy that. So they put a chemical dye into the food pellets to artificially color the flesh of the animal while it's still alive. And you can tell really the difference from the coloration, whether it's wild or not. The wild salmon actually get that coloration from eating shrimp out in the wild seas. That's why this works that way. The other thing is that to raise one fish on a salmon farm requires 50 to 60 fish caught in the wild to produce the food pellets to feed to the salmon. So when you eat one salmon, you're actually eating 70 or 60 to 70 fish from the ocean. So there's nothing about salmon farming that is ecologically positive. And of course, this word sustainability, I mean, that word was coined by Gro Harlem Brundtland, the Prime Minister of Norway at the 1992 Rio Conference on the Environment. She came up with this word called sustainable. What that means is business as usual, we'll just call it sustainable. Everything is sustainable, though. No, but it's not. It's just a word. It means absolutely nothing. There is no sustainable fishing anywhere on this planet right now. There's no sustainable fishing. And when you have a population of 8 billion humans, it's pretty hard to have a sustainable anything. And so that's the ecological dilemma that we're facing right now.